Good evening. Here's a yoga session for the next 45 minutes or so. Let's step out of the mainstream and step onto our mat, step into hopefully some more stillness. We're going to intentionally bind ourselves in these awkward postures and then practice rising up and activating lifting. Full power, full energy, infusing the posture with full activation, simultaneously with a sense of surrender, of softening, of opening. Try and practice stimulating the state of yoga through the practice of the yoga asanas, breathing through the nose, working from where you are. Be gentle on yourself, full power but with a softness. And use the breath as an indicator. If it's too much, take a rest. Work as hard as possible while you can. I hope you have a great practice. Let's go. Let's start off on the mat in child's pose. Knees apart, toes touching at the back of the mat. I'm on the tops of my feet, my knees are spread wide. I'm sinking my hips down and pulling them back, while I tiptoe my hands and fingers as far forward as possible. Hands are spread wide on the mat. Elbows are lifting. There's lift through the shoulders. Pulling my hips back and pressing my hips and belly button down towards the mat. You might want to rest your forehead on the floor. Lengthening, imagine the back side of your body lengthening. Space between the vertebrae. Focus on a deep breath originating in your belly button. Filtering the air through your nose. You can make quite a noise with your breath if you wish, a powerful breath. One more deep breath. Okay, come up onto all fours. Hands are now flat. Fingers are spread wide like a cat. You're pressing the mat forward, pressing your shoulders forward. Pull your hips back, tuck your toes, and straighten your legs, driving your thighs back. The downward dog. I'm trying to stretch the mat. You might want to walk your hands slightly further forward, get as longer dog as you can. Hands are broader, wider than your shoulders, so you've got big power to press the mat forward. We're using the bind and the traction of the mat to lift our hips, lift your heels as high as possible, pulling your thighs back. Imagine your thighs are pulling into the back of your hamstrings. Using that to lengthen your spine. Stretch and breathe into the most sensitive area. Can you stretch through that area? Okay, shoulders are now above your wrists, so we're in a plank. We're trying to make our bodies nice and straight. Heels are above your toe box. Shoulders are above your wrists. Don't lock your elbows. There's a slight bend, so you could go out to the side. But we're not doing press-ups, we're just planking for now. So plenty of work. I imagine there's a rope underneath the hips, lifting your hips as high as possible. To get your hips as high as possible, your heels are also really lifting vigorously. Lift and stretch back. Tiptoe your feet together, knees down wide apart. You're on the tops of your feet, on the fingertips, sink down into child's pose. Feel the softening as you surrender into this. Working with gravity, pressing your entire torso down towards the mat. Trying to generate a length between your hips and your wrists. Okay, back up to all fours. Tuck your toes, downward dog, straighten your legs. This time tip your tiptoes, your feet are together in the center of the mat. Press the inside lines of your feet together, like the inner arch and the heel. Lift the heels as high as possible. Lift your ribs. There's lift underneath the entire body. Get your ribs away from the mat. Now can you pull your thighs a little bit further back? Keep the high tiptoes. Lift your right ankle onto your left knee. Try and keep symmetry. Pull back. Pulling the hips back. The standing knee is bent a little bit now. Both knees are bent. You're pulling back in this quite asymmetrical dog position. Okay, switch sides. Left ankle on your right knee. The right standing knee is bent deeply, pulling the hips back. Very asymmetrical. Downward dog. Feet together in the center of the mat, knees are bent deeply, holding a double bent knee, downward dog, pulling back with the hips, and then lower your knees to the floor. Sure, that was a lot. If you want to, tap your hands together, rub your palms, shake out your wrists. Okay, hands are back on the mat, they're spread wide. Right leg is straight out behind you. Now there's lift, you kind of parallel, you don't need to go higher than parallel to the mat. There's lift in this thigh, there's lift under your torso. So we're pulling away from the mat, our shoulders are pulling up. Left fingertips slide as far forward as you can. Just really stretch out the underneath side of the body there. If you bend the supporting elbow, then you can go a little bit further forward with the hips so you can open up under that shoulder armpit. Go for the distance between fingertips and heel. Okay, let's treat ourselves to the other side. Both knees are together, hands are spread wide on the front of the mat. Left leg straight out behind you. Visualize that thigh lifting, that back heel pressing away from you. Right fingertips forward. Just keep stretching and bend that left elbow so you can get further forward. Maximum distance between fingertips and heel. Visualize the back side of your body lengthening. There's space possible now in the hips. Holding it here for a few more breaths. Okay, release. Tuck your toes, straighten your legs. Increase the distance between your hands and your feet if possible, if necessary. Feet are together in the center of the mat. You're on high tiptoes. Right leg lift up. Stretch up into that heel. Bend that lifted leg and now lift the knee. Can you get the knee a bit higher? Look underneath your armpit. Look up. The knee is the highest point. Okay, straighten the top leg and then lower it down. Feet are together in the center of the mat. Feet are together. Left leg straight, lifts up. Reaching up into the heel. Get the heels as high as possible. Both heels as high as possible. Top knee bends. Point the knee at the ceiling. Get lift underneath in those hips. Now straighten that top leg and lower it. Feet are together. Knees down wide apart. Child's pose. Pressing the hips down. Pulling back. Reaching forward. Back up into all fours. Tuck your toes. Downward dog. Now using as many steps as possible, walk slowly up the center line of the mat. All the way to the top. Feet are together at the top of the mat. Wherever your hands are is fine. You know, if you're on your legs or if you're on the floor. Activate your feet by lifting your toes. If you are on the floor, you want to make it harder, slide your hands back to your heels. On the exhale, bend your knees and lift your shoulders. Inhale, straighten your legs. Look behind you. Synchronize the breath to the movement. On the exhale, you're bending your knees, you're looking forward, and you're lifting up. Inhale, you're straightening your legs. You're pressing your thighs back, your shoulders towards the floor. Exhale, knees bent. One or two more times. Synchronize the breath to the movement. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Okay, hands are wide apart at the front of the mat. Step back to plank. Now flip over onto the tops of the feet. Here on the tops of the feet, lower the hips, but your thighs are lifting. Hips are pressing forward, shoulders pulling back. Your chest is moving in front of your shoulders. But there's lift here, thighs are lifting. Upward dog. Now you might need to shuffle your feet back. Can you lift your hips so that you're in downward dog on the tops of your feet? Good ballet practice. Can you stay on the tops of your feet and lift your hips into a downward dog slowly? Go as far as you can. If it's too much, flip back onto your soles of your feet like normal. And you're in downward dog. Take all the load on your right arm. Left arm supports on your lower back, behind your back. So you're using one arm downward dog. Try and pull towards the center, like symmetry. Try and get symmetry in the original position. Switch sides. Slowly walk forward to the front of the mat. All the way to the top, interlace your hands behind your back. Toes are lifting. Hips are lifting. Relax the back of your neck. You're looking behind you between your legs. Bend the knees here in prayer. Your wrists are on your knees. Your forearms are in a nice straight line. Your fingers are spread broadly. You're pressing vigorously, palm to palm. Moving from the shoulders. Stand up. Mountain pose. Rooting down into the ground. Lifting up one straight line all the way to the top of the head. Relax your face, relax your jaw. Give yourself time to get back to a regular standing breath. Just going to check in, make sure we're streaming successfully. Yeah, ball. Evening all. Feet are together. Left arm up, right arm down. Stretch shoulders like you're pressing down with that right arm and stretching as far up with the left arm. Everything's going pretty asymmetrical here, but you're activating through that upper spine. Switch sides slowly. Right arm up, left arm down, you stretch up. If you want to add a bit of tweak to it, pull the arms back behind your body. Pull your ribs in so that they don't bow out too much. Switch sides again. So left arm is up. Now to really extend that side, lean over to the right side. So you really open up that whole left side. Back up to the other side. Right arm is up, and leaning over to the left. Both arms are up. It's almost like a V shape. Knees are bent. Pull the ribs in so that your torso is fully above your hips if possible. Arms are reaching up. We're in a prayer. Now prepare to stand on your left foot. Activate all the load onto your left leg. Lift your right ankle up onto the left knee. Hold it there. The lifted toes are lifting. It activates the foot and gives you more stability. Okay, switch sides. Back up to double foot standing. What a treat. 2 feet. Okay, tree. Right sole of the foot, sole of the right foot, right up onto the inside of the thigh. The heel is slightly further forward of the toes. Pulling the knee back. Now really root down strongly into the standing leg and feel that activation going all the way up the center line to the top of the head. Arms out to the side. There's lift. Hands are higher than the shoulders. Deep breath through the nose. Use the arms for stability. If you want to make it stretchier, stretch up. Palms are facing each other. Your upper arms are behind your ears. Reaching as high up as possible. Introduce a bit of a bend in the standing knee. Back to prayer. Switch sides. Left foot, the sole is up on the inner thigh, pulling the knee back. Grounding down through that standing leg. Arms are out, hands are up. Stretch and lengthen through the entire length of your body, from the soles of the feet to the tips of the fingers. Bend that standing knee, and bring your hands down into prayer. Release. Nice. Feet are together, knees are bent, arms are up. Hands down alongside the feet. Step your right foot back big distance. Okay, now we're in a front lunge. The front knee is directly over the ankle. Make sure it's not forward or back of that, or left or right. You want to be centered over that ankle. There's lift in the hips, but then you're driving back to the sole of that foot. And make sure you're pressing back equally on the left and right edge of your foot. So the sole is pressing back evenly. Really lengthen the line from here to there. Now I want to practice stepping forward. So think of this, the back leg remains straight. I want to step forward with a straight back leg, and the back leg's not going to do anything. All the intention is going to be in the front leg. There's two movements. On the exhale, press the front knee forward on the exhale. Inhale, straighten the front leg. Back leg follows in a very relaxed, straight fashion. Okay, step your left foot back big distance. Front knee is over the ankle. This front lunge, you should be able to hang out here for a while. As active as you can. Pressing the sole of that back foot back. Now I want to practice stepping forward. So all the intentions in the front knee. Big inhale. Exhale, press the knee forward. And straighten the front leg on the inhale. That other foot slides up to meet that one. Step your right foot back, big distance. Inhale. Exhale, press the knee forward, straighten the front leg. Left foot back, big distance. Inhale. Exhale. Right foot back. Okay, synchronizing the movement to the breath is a little bit tricky here. I had a bit of a rhythm in mind, but it's a bit hard. I think just stretch the front lunge and then try and synchronize your own stepping forward with a straight back leg. Moving as slowly and deliberately as possible. Okay, right leg is back, I'm dropping the knee. Arms up. This really opens up the hip structure. Pressing the hips forward towards that front heel. Reach up. Imagine you're getting stretched over the back of a barrel. Let's switch sides. Hands down alongside. Step your back foot forward. Left foot back, big distance. Knee down. Reaching up. Hips pressing forward towards that front heel. If you want to tweak it, you go a little back, looking up. Okay, let's switch side once again. Step forward, back with your right leg. Knee down. Stretching up. Hands down. Okay, lift the back leg into a front lunge. Drop the back heel to the ground. Right arm up. So the front knee is over the ankle. Lift the arch so your foot's active. And then stretch as far up as you can. The only thing that's stopping you lifting are the fingertips are glued to the mat. Lift up with everything else. So your front leg is firing, trying to get your hips high. That hip, get it as high as you can. Outside, upper hip. Okay, let's switch sides. Step forward, left foot back, knee down, arms up, preparation. Hands down, lift the back leg. So nice front lunge first. Drop that back left heel. The front right knee is over the ankle, reaching up. Hips are lifting. So the front leg is firing so that the hips are pressing upwards. Hands down. Step forward. Bend the knees, reach forward with the arms. Hands on your hips. Release back to mountain pose. Breath back to resting breath. Give yourself a moment. Soften your breath, scan your face, relax your forehead, your jaw. Remind yourself why you're doing this. Knees bent, arms up, hands in a prayer. Hands down alongside the feet. Step back to plank. Now we're going to press down as if you're going to do press-ups, but you're going to keep your elbows alongside your body. Chaturanga. Press up again. Rather than up to the feet into downward dog. Hips are lifting. Really pressing forward. Back onto all fours. Pull the hips back, 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 back. Tuck the toes, straighten the legs, downward dog. Lengthen the spine. Target the stiffest, most sensitive area with your full attention. Give it full power, stretching through them with utmost softness. Slowly walk up the center line of the mat all the way to the top. Place your hands behind your back. Bend the knees, leading from the shoulders all the way up to standing. Nice. Inhale, arms up. With a flat back, pull the hips all the way back, fingertips down to the ground. Step your right foot back, big distance. You have the fingertips in the front hand, left arm towards the sky. Reverse side angle pose. That back thigh, lift up, press the back thigh up, reach up with the front shoulder. Get this whole thing as high as possible. Maybe you want to point it over towards the front of the room so that your arm is an extension of that back leg. Switch sides. Step forward with a straight leg, back with the left leg. Back thigh is driving up. This right elbow. Lead from the shoulder, bend the elbow, and then all the way up. Back thigh pressing up, hips are lifting. Look up, lift the torso. Pull the top hand away from the mat. Point forward so your arm is an extension of the back leg. And now, step forward once again to the side. Right foot back, big distance. We're in a nice deep front lunge now. That left elbow down to the ground. Right elbow down to the ground. Hips are lifting, pulling up, away from the elbows. Okay, you can just stay here. If you want to take it one deeper, drop the back heel so there's support. Lift your torso up. Wrap that front underarm, left hand. Reach under your leg. Wrap it around in the lower back, palm facing up, and then lift that supportive hand. Left hand grabs the right wrist. Now drive your torso up and try and lengthen from the heel to the top of the head. This is a real intense bind, side angle pose. We want length from the heel to the top of the head. Okay, let's come out of that. Hands down, step forward. Left foot back, big distance. First it's an active front lunge. And that inside right elbow goes down to the heel. And then the other elbow. Hips are lifting up. Okay, drop the back heel to the ground for support. Right arm reaches underneath the thigh and onto the lower back. Right hand grabs the left wrist point. Press the wrists away from you. Shoulders drive up vigorously. You lengthen from the heel to the top of the head. Okay, hands down. Step forward, feet are together, bend the knees. Reach forward with the arms. And lift up to a mountain pose. Great job. Bless your sweat. Okay, let's step sideways. Feet are together. Stepping your right foot back, big distance. About a leg distance. Front foot's parallel to the side of the mat. Back foot's parallel to the back of the mat. My knees are not locked, there's a micro bend, but they are straight. Hands on the hips, shoulders are lifting. Drive into the mat. Use the traction of the mat to get a bit of lift in the hips. You should feel some freedom. Arms up. Stretch up. Right hand on the back, right leg. Left arm stretches up. Keep stretching the mat with the legs and increase the distance between the hands. Now we're going to switch sides. That top hand is going down all the way, fingertips down all the way to the inside of the heel. Back hand reaches up, top hand reaches up. Try and make your arms one continuous line. Your arms up, chest, one line. If you're too far open or not open enough, hips pulling up, you're opening up towards what's above. There's lift in the hips. Okay, that top hand goes down next to the other one, and that opposite hand goes up. Hips are still lifting, pulling back. You're driving back with that back thigh. It's a reverse trikonasana, reverse triangle pose. It's very good practice for surfing backhand in tight barrels. Okay, lift up, step forward. Other side. Left foot back, big distance. Triangle legs, you're stretching the mat. So you've got your left and finger in the hips. Arms reaching up, lift up. Back arm down, so the left arm's on my left thigh, stretching up with the right hand. Switch sides. Top hand goes all the way down, fingertips on the inside of the heel. Top hand stretching up. Pulling away from the mat, but our fingertips are stuck there. Now we're going to switch sides. Left fingertips down, right arm up. Reverse trikonasana. Both thighs are pressing back. Inhale, step forward. Tapas is rising, sweat is flowing. Knees bent, arms out. Utkatasana. Hands down alongside the heels. Step back to plank. Lift your hips high. Tiptoe your feet together. Right leg reaches up, straight leg. And then sweep the bent knee through all the way between the hands. You can drop the back knee. Lift your shoulders up. There's lift here. We're using now the thighs to lift the hips. Both knees are on the ground. If you want to lift the back knee and activate that back thigh, it gives you a bit of extra lift. Wherever's comfortable, but challenging. Stretch up. Go for as much lift as you can. Back thigh pressing back into that discomfort. You're in a prayer. Keeping your balance. Left elbow to the right knee. Just touches, but everything else lifting. Step back to downward dog. Feet are together. Heels are high. Left leg reach up. Sweep the bent knee through between the hands. Back knee on the ground. Arms up. Lift. And if you can, lift up. Back knees off the ground. Prayer. Right elbow to the left knee. Just touches the knee, and then there's lift. Release. Back to downward dog. Bend the knees, inhale, jump forward. Bend the knees, reach forward. Hands on the hips, come up. Very nice. Let's treat ourselves to a slow down. I'm sitting, crossing my legs. My left sole is on that edge of the mat, and this sole is on this edge of the mat. Pull your hips back so that there's this kind of unnaturally large space here. You wouldn't normally sit this kind of cross-legged. But here we're trying to bind ourselves, make it trickier. Use your hand to manipulate your buttocks, so actually like pull them back and broad so that your hip bones pull back and broader apart, giving you space to rotate in the hips. We want our spine to be leaving the floor forward of vertical, ideally. If you're frozen in a backwards or vertical, that's fine. Just rise up towards the cue, towards the vector we are activating for. You'll feel the therapeutic benefit no matter where you are on the stiffness range. Arms out, shoulders are lifting, stretch up. My feet are active, my toes are lifting, using the activity in the feet and the action here to protect my knees. So I'm lifting up, pivot forward, but also lift. So you're trying to reach diagonally up. get a boat pose, another asana. Reach back, arms up. Arms, feet and arms are reaching for the sky. If your knees are bent, that's fine. Just try and get limbs as high as possible. Okay, now we're going to switch sides. You cross-leg the other way. Broaden your sitting bones. Activate your feet. Lift up. Stretch forward. Rock back. Lift your legs, lift your knees, however. Limbs are as high as you can. Okay, release. Right knee is bent. Left foot is hooked over the front of the knee. Broaden your sitting bones. Pull the shin towards you. Use that bind and traction to get a lift in the torso. The left hand keeps pulling that left knee towards your chest. Right arm up. Reach up and look to the left. Hook that elbow behind the knee, palm facing the front. Support yourself with the backhand, fingertips are on the mat. Now primarily there's a stretching, there's a lengthening. So sitting bones are pressing down and we're trying to activate up to the top of our head. Try and synchronize that lengthening of this twisted spine to the inhale. Inhale, deep lengthen. On the exhale, twist between the sitting bones and the shoulders. Wring out your torso organs. Inhale, you lengthen. Exhale, you twist deeper. Neck is relaxed. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, twist. One last. Okay. Switch to the other side. Left knee is bent. Right ankle is hooked over the knee. Get yourself centered. Pull the shin towards you. Right hand is pressing that knee towards your chest. Left arm reaching up. Look over to the right. Hook the elbow in front of the hand. Palm facing the front. Support yourself and lift. Lift and lengthen. Inhale. Exhale, twist. Release. Okay. Asana. That was asana. Just sit in stillness for a little bit. Try and stay with the practice just for the final piece. Visualize water deepening, stilling. Infuse a sense of lightness and lift in your posture. Your wrists are rested gently on your knees. There's a relaxed approach to your breath, appreciating its fullness. Eyelids are relaxed. Let your attention witness your breath. Just track your breath for a minute or two, as much as possible. If any thoughts come, you're the witness. Position yourself as the witness to anything that's going on right now. Just observe. It's okay to observe. Your eyes can be open, they can be closed. Sit for as long as you feel comfortable, as long as you can. For now, I'll say thank you. Namaste. Good practice. See you again next week. All the best. Bye-bye.